Good afternoon. I'm here with many of the local elected officials, the school superintendent, the chairman of the county commission, the mayor, some police officers, some members of the highway patrol, and I'll be having them speak in just a few minutes. Also my chief of staff, Thomas Stiff, who's going to be chairman of the Matthew Recovery Task Force. First of all, I'm sad to report that today we just learned of the 28th victim of Hurricane Matthew. A man who was hurt during the hurricane in Kinston passed away today, and our prayers are with his family as our prayers continue to be with the other 27 families that are suffering through their losses. Today we're in Lumberton, and Lumberton is a town of much devastation, but it's also a town of incredible resilience among some incredible citizens. And it's also a town with very, very strong leadership at the county level, the city level, the school level, and also the nonprofit and business level. They're working together as a team, and that's what's going to make a difference, and that's what's going to help this town recover as quick as possible. But Lumberton's going to go through a long battle ahead in recovering from this horrendous hurricane, because there are a lot of people hurting right now in this town. We still have over 100 people in a shelter here, several hundred people in a shelter here. We have many houses that are beyond repair. We have public housing communities that were devastated by this storm. We have a school that's not going to reopen for a while, and some decisions have to be made whether or not that school should be reopened or not. We have another school right across the street here that has damage, and we hope to get that school reopened. And we, of course, have major financial issues that Lumberton's going to have to deal with, and the state of North Carolina is going to try to help them out as much as possible. Regarding housing, regarding infrastructure, regarding the education system, regarding the water system. And another group of people we need to recognize here in Lumberton are the people who basically saved the water system here and that have not stopped working for 15 days at least to keep the water system going here. I also want to thank General Electric for sending some incredible equipment down from Virginia. Without that, I think Lumberton would be in even more serious shape. And without the water director and the engineers here, people don't realize how much work has been done. I'd like to also thank the Lumbee Indian tribe here that's been a part of the leadership team here. They've been fantastic. Everyone's working extremely well. And there are a few things I want to report here. First of all, in Robeson County, we are here with 3 families, a total of 8 families here who've lost loved ones. In fact, we just went by a neighborhood where a good friend of the mayor's drowned right near the water plant. And it's just tragedy when you hear of each individual story about a loss of life, and you also see each individual story as people are trying to clean out their homes, not just of mildew and bad furniture now, but of sand. We have several neighborhoods that it's been taken over by sand. It's like they're on the beach, but that's not good. And so there's still going to be extreme major cleanup in many neighborhoods in Lumberton and Robeson County and Pembroke. The good news is no rivers are above flood stage at this point in time. The other good news, this is the first day with no school system closures across North Carolina. Robeson County teachers are now going to school. The students will be going to school on Monday, 3 weeks after the hurricane. But that's good news, and I want to compliment the superintendent and the school board for their incredible work. We're still, of course, searching for students who may have had to move away from this area, and we're trying to locate them to make sure they're getting the proper education within our state. We have 450 people in 8 shelters across the state, 15 counties that have disaster recovery centers, 30 National Guards were demobilized yesterday in Princeville. In this county, Robeson County, we have ALE, Wildlife Resources, the SBI, the State Highway Patrol, and DMV. We have firefighting units supporting the locals here. We have transitional shelter assistance here. And of course, we have water pumping operations in Red Springs. We're also monitoring the water system here in Lumberton. It's at 70% capacity. We hope to get that improved in the very near future. We think that'll make a positive difference. And again, I'd like to thank General Electric for their work so far. I'd like to also thank the Highway Patrol. We're having a lot of troopers here. The mayor may give you some numbers here, but we're having to protect the residents here. We want to make sure there's no looting or anything of that matter, because these residents are working so hard to try to clean out their homes, and we want to make sure their homes are protected. And so we're leaving, I think, well over 100 troopers in the Lumberton area to help protect the homes and the neighborhoods and the businesses that were impacted by this. Our city, so far, we're providing disaster food assistance, unemployment assistance, tax filing deadline assistance, temporary waiving DMV fees. We also have done an executive order not asking the school systems, not only here in Lumberton, to not set new school dates, but across the state, because we hope to have a special session where we'll get clarification on school dates for all school systems impacted by this. There's no way, Superintendent, you can make up for the days lost, and I think you're going to have total agreement from the leadership of the legislature, both Republican and Democrat. So we're going to get that resolved and hopefully make your job easier in that regard. 5 priorities. We need to continue to raise money, especially for Robinson County and Princeville and Edgecombe County and several other counties. I was told by this church here, we need water, we still need clothes, we need food. Hot food would be nice. The Red Cross is providing some hot food. But more than anything else, the biggest message I'm getting here from those that are listening across the state, we need cleaning supplies. Cleaning these homes, we need brushes, brooms, shovels, detergent, a lot of detergent, anything that can deal with mildew, because this mildew is extremely dangerous at this time. These are towns that were flooded and neighborhoods that were flooded with extremely toxic water, and we've got to get all remnants of that water out of the way. And we need volunteers also. Anyone from throughout the state who would like to volunteer, I think we've got work for people in Lumberton. So we're doing some good things, and again, we're assessing the impact of the total flood. We're trying to get the financials in as quick as possible. My team will be giving me a recommendation, hopefully within the very near future, on a date for a special session, so we can go back to the legislature and specifically request how much money we need and how that money should be used. But we want to make sure it's done the right way, and we're also coordinating that with our federal partners, because they have some budgeting items in early December also. And we want to make sure we're in partnership with the federal government, our county governments, our school systems, and of course our state legislature. So we're working as a team as we develop the specific needs and the process on how to spend, thank God, the rainy day reserves that we have in our funds at this point in time. So with that, I'm going to first ask the mayor to say a few words. I can't tell you, Bruce Davis is an incredible leader, along with other mayors that have been hit by this. He wasn't afraid to call me from day one. He knows my cell number. I know his cell number now. And that's what leadership is all about, not being afraid to make the ask. I'm going to then ask the chairman of the county commission to say a few words, and also the superintendent of schools, who is just doing a major job, because his building, where all of his offices, is not inhabitable at this point in time, and they've had to just fly by the seat of the pants and trying to deal with students and teachers while his own staff doesn't have a place to go. We also even have a Lumberton police officer who is here, whose own house was flooded and does not have a home at this point in time. We have a wonderful principal here who's, you're incredible. You are incredible. You really, anyway, you're going to get me emotional. Mayor Davis, if you would come up, and if you and the city manager, and then I'd like to ask the county chairman to come up. God bless you, man. Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. He didn't give me any notes. Can I use yours? I want to say that
Speak from the heart.
as bad as it was, it could have been a lot worse. When we really understood the significance of it, was when the governor called me and said, listen, I'm looking at it from a helicopter and it don't look good. So we started riding the dike. First of all, let me just make something clear. The dike did not fail. The dike performed perfectly. But the water was unbelievable. Our first meeting, I said, guys, we don't need to worry about fixing anything. We need to worry about getting this water out of here. I called the governor. He sent pumps that, believe me, would pump. In 2 days, they pumped that entire storm back in the river. Back in the river. And we called him for everything from National Guards. They were here. We were just so blessed to have him on our team. I'm going to write a book. There's about 5 or 6 things that he did. I won't go into all that, but believe me, every time I picked up the phone, he said, Mayor, what can I do for you? And he meant it. Whatever I asked him, he came through on. My staff worked diligently. I'm so proud of them. We have engineers on our staff. We have trained professionals. Our manager's probably the best in the state. All this put together made me look really good, but trust me, there's a lot of people behind this deal. I want to thank the governor for being here, and I want to thank the people for coming together like they did to support everybody. It's just a beautiful thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to ask Tommy Lowry, the superintendent of schools, and I want you to bring your wonderful principal up here with you too.
Absolutely.
You're incredible. Come on. And if you could give an update, some of the challenges with the school system here and other things.
Let me, first of all, and I want to make sure that everybody is aware that the things that have happened in Robeson County, I think has brought this county together, because I think you can see that everybody in this county has stepped forward to help those that are in need, not only just the school system, but all the communities that were affected by Hurricane Matthew. Of course, we had schools that were damaged. We've had schools that had minor flooding. We've tried to get all that taken care of and as fast as we could, understanding that our first goal was to make sure we got our children, and I'm thankful to see these students here today and just thankful that they're safe and happy. But our first goal was to make sure we got the schools open, but they were safe for our staff and employees to come back and our students. Once we've done that, fortunately, we were able to get our staff back to work today, all of our teachers and other support staff, and Lord willing, and the creek doesn't rise, we're going to try to have...
The sand's gone either way.
We're going to try to have our students back in school on Monday. Miss Tara Bullard is one of my principals, and of course her school was the one that was hit the hardest, and with the damage from the flood and everything, those students have been relocated to Lumberton Junior High. We were able to find a facility there to house those kids there, and we started today trying to bring in furniture and those types of things that they need to get school set up for those kids coming in Monday.
I'm going to ask Senator Jane Smith, who's not afraid to make a phone call either, and also Charles Graham, who's been extremely active in the recovery here, representing the House of Representatives. Senator?
Thank you, Governor. I just want to thank you again for coming back to our area. My District 13 is Robeson and Columbus County, both of which suffered devastating losses. And I appreciate you bringing the attention back to the fact that this is not over. This is an ongoing event. It has been wonderful to see how our own folks have worked together hard, helped each other out. We're strong, resilient. We will get through this, but we still need a lot of help. And I would appreciate the fact that I know the wonderful citizens of North Carolina will dig down and give us the help and assistance we need in all the devastated areas. This has been a tragic situation. The good part has been watching how everyone works together and helps each other out, and that's just been a pleasure. But we appreciate so much the step, and we will in the legislature. We'll take care of this, and we will do what we can to try to help our areas recover.
We're coming.
Good.
Charles, thank you very much. Thanks, Representative.
Well, let me say thank you, Governor, for being here with us again. This is your second trip here in the last few days, and we certainly appreciate it. I want to say a special thanks to Director Sprayberry for his due diligence and response here to Robeson County. Thank you so much. I experienced working with him firsthand, and he is dedicated to helping us in this situation. I want to pledge to our citizens here in Robeson County my support for our citizens and working with our governor, with our leadership in the legislature to have this special session. I look forward to that, Governor, working with you and working with your staff and our citizens. I just want the citizens to know that we are with you 100%. We're going to stick with you. This is not something that will happen overnight. This recovery is long term. But my commitment and our commitment with Senator Smith is to make Robeson County a better place to live. It's a good place to live. We're going to make it a better place to live because there is a silver lining in this disaster, and we're going to work to make that happen. Thank you, Governor.
very much.
I appreciate you.
My last message is to those people in Wilmington and Asheville and Triad and the Triangle and Charlotte and Greenville and other areas. Not Greenville, they got impacted too, but we need your help. We need your help. If you want to give, now's the time to give. Money, supplies, cleaning detergent, right? Yes.
Yes.
Cleaning, what did you say? Wait a minute, come here.
Yes.
Tell them what you need.
I need everything. Absolutely everything, including volunteers. The church is you can't have a community without church. And we will be here for as long as the community needs our help. We ask for cleaning supplies. We do ask for funds so that we can be able to help those coming back into this community because we want people to come back to Lumberton. Again, as the governor said, we need cleaning supplies, bleach, brooms, mops, personal items for women as well as men, children, clothing, socks it's getting cold. We need coats for these children and for these families. We appreciate any help, and we take all volunteers.
You're great. We'll take, they haven't stopped working, so I admire them so much. Any questions that y'all might have, we'll take any questions for me or for the local officials.
Governor, can you speak about the financial challenges that remain ahead?
I think the major challenges, first of all, we still have some policy challenges that will have to be the first decisions. The policy challenges will be if you rebuild, and then where do you rebuild, and how do you rebuild? And then second issue, how much will it cost to rebuild, and what's the best way to get the funds to the individuals to rebuild? And this is just not for residential businesses, we also have small businesses. So we have some major policy issues that we've got to discuss, from the school system, from infrastructure with a water plant, to roads. We still have over 100 roads closed in North Carolina. So we do have some major policy issues, and then we're going to have some major financial issues. But there are a lot of human issues that we're dealing with too. With 200 people still in a shelter here, after a point in certain time, emotions start getting high. And we've got to keep the people, our citizens, motivated and give them hope and opportunity. And so as we come up with the long-term plans, we've got to deal with the short-term issues. We even have other short-term issues, which I mentioned in Kinston. We don't have hotel rooms to put people in, and that's usually what FEMA does. We're also examining today, we hope to hear shortly whether there's an opportunity for mobile homes or modular homes that we can use through FEMA, made in North Carolina, and we hope to get that clarifications next 24 to 48 hours. And we're trying to develop plans for that for people. We have people of homes where it costs more to repair the home than the homes are worth. And then are you repairing them in an area that's going to be flooded? We've seen this in Kinston, we've seen this in Princeville, we've seen this in Fairbluff, we're seeing this in Lumberton. These are very, very difficult issues that we're going to have to deal with.
Governor, a lot of folks are worried about the time they've been taking to either repair their homes or take care of loved ones that they've missed work, government employees. Is there a plan in place to make sure those people are compensated for that time?
For government employees, we have a plan in place to relieve government employees who are directly impacted by that flood with the revenues that they need. They will be paid. We've got details on that in our personnel plan that we verified 2 days ago. We have issues still with unemployment. We've got that resolved. We're getting immediate unemployment, and thank God we have a reserve of $2 billion in unemployment. which we'll be using to anyone who's put out of work due to the flood can immediately sign up for unemployment. And we've even waived some of the processes of re-signing up for unemployment. Food stamps, the same way. We did get approval for food stamps even in Princeville and several other areas that the feds were holding off of, but in the last 48 hours we now are going to get food stamps even for counties that did not initially qualify, because we have pockets of county that the people need the basic necessities. I might add personal stuff from toilet paper to everything we all need. Diapers for newborns, especially things for newborns and babies. Yes, sir.
What interaction, if any, have you had, or those, if anyone else can speak to this, had with the private sector, with employers who've been impacted? And especially, there's large employers in Lumberton County which were underwater.
Yeah, I think the major issue, that's another policy issue. We've got a lot of most of the major employers are getting back on their feet. It's the small business people, from Whiteville to Princeville to Fair Bluff to Kinston to Goldsboro, that it's taken them a while to return. Our immediate goal is to get the roads and the infrastructure to and from those areas repaired as quick as possible.